What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at Scream Romagnoli. Really good centre back, in fact. 86 rated, obviously AC Milan. He's been given a really nice upgrade from his 83 card, which, to be honest, is a little bit average. He's been given an 18 plus pace, 27 plus passing, 2 physical and defending, as well as shooting, and a 1 on his dribbling. So it rounds him up really nice. And in general, the card is relatively cheap for a Scream card. He's coming in on both consoles around about the 88 to 89k mark. Obviously, we are a little bit higher because Foot Champs is going on, so he probably will drop to the 80 mark, but he is out of packs either before this video or after this video. It depends when this one does go up. We are nearly at 6 o'clock, so I may wait till after. But it's a good card. That's what I'm really liking about him. He's obviously got decent linkage. He's Italian, obviously for AC Milan. You've got Theo Hernandez is in form. Personally, I'm just rocking his normal left back card, but a very solid left back that can definitely get through the game. You could then have potentially a Donnarumma card. I personally am waiting for a couple of informs from him, because then he really will be a very good goalkeeper in this game. But apart from that, you've got Handanovic, you've got Buffon, I suppose, but Buffon's really lost it this year. And then someone, I think really that's it for the goalkeepers really in the Serie A. Handanovic is really steaming ahead at the minute, so that's really your only option there. But obviously you could go and get a centre mid, a CDM that gives him that linkage factor. You could go get Pirlo as an icon, which links with him perfectly. Again, it all depends on what team you've got, what you're looking for. Personally, I've gone for a very basic Serie A team. I've got Insigne up top, Inform Pjanic, who I got last week from my rewards. So a very nice Serie A team, very balanced throughout, and pretty much pace abuse in the defence, because literally that's the only way to defend, it seems. But this card genuinely feels really nice for a centre-back, and especially for a centre-back that doesn't cost you hundreds and hundreds of K. Obviously, Ramos was untradeable, so it was a little bit unfair for him, because personally I didn't have to pay a penny for him. But this guy's got 81 pace, 87 dribbling, and 81 physical, as well as 82 passing as well. And the big thing with his passing is he's got short pass and long pass, both at 99. I personally don't know what they were doing there. I don't know if they've just randomly picked stats out of these players and just thought, you know what, 99, why not? 90, give it him. 99 passing and short pass and long pass is incredible and really nice for a centre-back, just to make sure that obviously their passing is as accurate as possible. He is really good on the ball. When it comes to actually dribbling, don't bother. Just pass it out. He's more than capable of passing with them two stats. Dribbling wise, I don't risk it with a centre back unless he's a left back, right back that you've put into a centre back position, because they're better on the ball. Do not run with a centre back. It's just not going to work out, and you're going to end up raging at some point. Pace wise, the acceleration is a little bit on the lower side, being only 77. Sprint speed at 84, so once he gets there, he is actually quite quick. But personally, I do find that you will need a shadow on him, or at least an anchor, just to make him that little bit OP with it. Obviously, with a shadow, you'd go up to 93 pace. It gives him a plus 12 and also gives him a plus 8 on his defending, which brings it up to 95. Now that is a god tier centre back. It basically, in Footbin's rating system, that would bring him up to a 91 rated centre back. If you was to choose an anchor, it'd bring him up to a 92 centre back with 86 pace, 96 defending, and also 86 physical. So take that with what you will. Personally, I would probably go with the anchor more than the shadow, because I think 86 is perfectly a really nice pace level to have. It brings his acceleration up to 82. So for me, anchor is absolutely perfect, and it actually makes him quite an end tier centre back already. When you look at the Ramoses, you look at the Lenglets, Umtiti, and then you go to like Puyol, Rio Ferdinand. He's pretty much up there with the stats. Obviously their base stats are a lot higher, but he's got something they don't have to start with, and that is the pace. You can always get the defending and physical up on the other two, or Ramos at the very least, but the pace is already at 80 something. That is incredible to have as a starting centre back right there, and I really do think that makes him that little bit more desirable for me. I do think the Serie A this year is a little bit lacking. I think the defensive side of it, if you was to go all out Serie A, I think Koulibaly would be your best partnership to put him with. Bonucci is just an SBC player. Chiellini lacks the pace massively, and I think that really affects this game. He's not quick enough to get on that turn, and even with 81 pace for Romagnoli, and obviously with the anchor on him as well, he does still feel that little bit slower to turn and try. You need to basically counteract it by judging their movements personally, and I think that's a lot with any centre-back. If you're kind of going in, rushing in left, right and centre, most centre-backs do take a little bit to turn compared to your wingers, compared to your 99 dribbling players, your Neymars, your Manes, your Salahs. So you need to be a bit more aware with him and kind of drop him back, jockey, all of that good stuff, and he becomes this absolute animal as a centre-back. Tackling wise is fantastic. For heading wise, he wins the ball being 6'2", but I do find that he is a little bit poor on the heading side of it. I feel like the ball on the ground, he is a lot better at that. But for me, heading was a little bit of a lackluster for me. Stamina wise as well, 73, which I've put on his negatives as a stamina's low-ish. So for me, I do think it is a little bit on the low side, but you can get away with it. I do think centre-backs can get away with a lot lower than the midfield area, the striking area, where they are doing a lot more running. But it does come into effect if you are hanging on by a thread. Maybe you're 1-0 up in foot champs, you're only halfway through, the guy is answering, he's knocking on that door constantly. You need to make sure that he can cope with all of it, especially if you do go, say, constant pressure. You need to make sure that he can handle that. And stamina wise, I think by the time it comes to near end of the game, he's going to be flagging, and you'll really notice that. And one mistake out of a centre-back can cause you to go 1-1, then go into extra time penalties and lose. That's what you've got to think about. So the stamina was put down as a stamina's low-ish. It's not terrible, is it? But it could always be better. That's always the thing. So going into the overall review, we've kind of gone a little bit over there. I was looking at another screen and realised we're up already. Personally, he is better than Bonucci. I think Bonucci this year is pure SBC fodder. Same as Isco, same as Rakitic. They're all going into SBCs this year as a very cheap 86. And personally, I do think Ramos is better than him. Pace-wise, obviously Romagnoli, to start with, does have better pace. Ramos does make up for it in the fact that his defending ability and heading ability is absolutely phenomenal. Ramos has always been one of them centre-backs that is just crazy good. And this year is no different for Ramos. He is an absolute god when it comes to the centre-back role. Obviously, we still do have like Varane, Lenglet. Them two, to be honest, really are hard to beat. Mainly because they've got that defensive ability, but also have that insane pace that they use. So for me, I think he's up there. I'd probably put him within the top 10 at the very least. Top 5, I think he'd be stretching unless... It depends on who you like when it comes to the top 5. For me, you've got Varane up there, you've got Lenglet, you've got Umtiti, you've got Ramos. I think Romagnoli is up there definitely. This is taking out all icons, but you do have like Laporte is very similar. He's got the same sort of defensive ability, but pace-wise, again, is lacking. Chiellini, again, pace is lacking massively. Theo Hernandez, is it Theo Hernandez? No, it's Lucas Hernandez, the Bayern player. He is up there, most definitely, as a really nice centre-back to have in your team, and a very cheap centre-back to have in your team as well. So like I said, 89 to 88k on both consoles. I am giving him a 7 out of 10 for value for coins. If he does drop to say 80 and minus, I'd probably bump that straight up to 8 out of 10, because I do think for how much he is compared to everybody else's price, Lenglet's, Umtiti's, Ramos, Varane, they're all over the 100k mark, I think. Bar from Lenglet, I think he has dropped now, but most of them are way above what Romagnoli will cost you. 7.5 for foot champs. Personally, I'm rocking the Ramos and Militao pairing, and I'm absolutely loving it. So for me, I haven't seen many in foot champs. Not many people are playing with him, but I do think he'll be useful if, say, you haven't got you still got that starting team, you're building it up. I'd definitely say try and get him in your team and see how he feels. I feel the only problem with him is his links around him. You've got Alexandro, who actually is quite expensive still, but he's a very good left back. But personally, I'd rock with Theo Hernandez, to be honest. Really good. You whack a sentinel on him, and he's absolute class. I don't get why people are not rocking him more, but Fantastic link right there. Apart from that, that's really the only linkage you'd want. Literally, there's no one else that I'd probably say you'd want with him. Chiellini, Bonucci are just not good enough for FUT champs. Koulibaly could be one of them. He may get your team, but to be honest, again, there's plenty of other options that will cost you less and probably produce the same results, really. And overall, I'm giving him a 7 out of 10, so I've had fun with him. He is a good player, and I do think you should try him out at the very least. And let me know what you think. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure you give me a like down below. That is always appreciated. And if you want to subscribe, we're closing in on that 4K. I think we're like 150 or so less ready to go, and then we hit that big 4K. And apart from that, make sure you enjoyed today, and I'll see you for the next one.